Pop scoop.
It's very much like being an athlete, I guess, not in the sense that the demands on your youth are extreme, and the music itself, the performing, the lifestyle, it's all about being young. And the more, I think, being really, really successful when you're young, the education and the extreme element of it is actually all the people around you and how they're behaving.
Yeah.
And there's a moment where you realize there's no grown-ups around. I'm the young person expecting to be told, how the world is. Actually, I'm surrounded by people who have a sort of emotional age of about 8. And it's a shocking thing, and it's a coming of age moment where you realize there are very few grown-ups, and I think because we were with a record company, so we were with a corporation, and the world is run by corporations, and the kinds of people who will excel and achieve in corporations are people who have personality disorders, or people who will, thrive in that kind of impersonal environment. And it was killing the spirit of our band.
Right.
And so I just pulled the plug because I was ready to retire at 24.
That's quite shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a bit like, I always think of like prize fighters or, like athletes, where it's just insane age to be kind of peaking. But actually all that was needed was a few years I think it was 6 years in the end, to let the dust settle, and to regroup and to start again almost from scratch as an independent.
Right.
And that's what we've done, and we've built it up slowly, amongst other things, having families, and other pursuits, other projects, as writers with other people or producing with other people, and we just slowly sort of rebuilt Kula Shaker as an independent force. And I think we proved gradually over the years that we're still just as sort of vital as we were then, but timing is everything.
Yes, it is. And I can see that this has really worked for you. I know some artists it wouldn't, but it really has, because I've been playing the new album and everything, and you come back with probably your best stuff. I mean, it's a great album.
I think there's something about the music you play and the atmosphere that you're in, the environment you're in. Certain songs, certain music, it can connect and hit a nerve depending on where people are at in the world and the general kind of conditions. You look back at movies like Star Wars and you think, well, if it wasn't the end of the 70s, that movie wouldn't have hit in the same way it did, and the Beatles or whatever. Music, arts, creative things, fashion, so much of it is about timing. And sometimes you just feel like, oh, this is a good time for us. This is a good time for Kula Shaker, actually.
Yeah.
What we've always been about, and our approach to music and our connection with the fans. It's a good time. Now is the time to sort of appreciate it. We all appreciate it within the band.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about.
It's amazing that you got the original lineup. So this will be the first recording since '98 with the original lineup. So what happened to Jay? Because Jay's Hammond sound is so fantastically part of what you do. Did he get kidnapped by Oasis after Nebworth? Because he seemed to disappear after that for a while. And I see he played with Oasis and
No, he
And
didn't. He didn't disappear after Nebworth. When we took a break,
mm,
everybody went and did other things, and he got offered that job, and it was just a different adventure actually, and it was I went and played with Johnny Marr
wow,
and Paul, and so it was just Johnny Marr, Alonso, and Zach Starkey, and
right,
the
okay.
called the Healers. So they were having that experience, and Jay was with Oasis, and I did a band called the Jeevers, and I also was doing some working in film.
I remember the Jeevers, but
So, so I made two films, and Paul was working with a band. Everyone was doing other things, and everyone was having families.
yeah,
And when we started making music as Kula Shaker in 2006, I called Jay up, and he's like, "I'm in Kuala Lumpur, you know,
like you
like
are.
it's like I'm playing with these guys, and it's just not good timing." And it was absolutely fine. There was no bad feeling. It was just sort of time had kind of shifted the sands, and it was only because we had a great Hammond player in the interim. But it was when you play with the people you grow up with, there's a certain chemistry and a certain magic that is just very special. And when we got the opportunity to work with him on this last record, it was a lot of fun, because it's not just the music, it's how you all make each other feel.
Yeah,
And actually, a band like us, the first people that you're playing for is each other.
yeah.
So the four of us are the first audience. Actually, everybody's looking what everyone else is doing. That's the first sort of test.
Must be amazing to go out live again because Sunday was the first date, wasn't it, of the European dates?
Yeah, we've toured for a good year now with Jay. It's
Yeah.
been a lot of good over a year. It was January 2000, December 2022. That's when we started playing with Jay again, and we started working on all the new record with Jay live as well. And yes, it's been really good and very that special chemistry that the band was built on.
Yeah.
It's there, it's back.
I see you've got a good, you must have a good following in Japan because I see you play some Japanese dates. I've got a place in my heart for Japan. My uncle has lived there for 40 years now and is now in Okinawa. They're very enthusiastic Japanese fans, aren't they?
Yeah, they're amazing fans. They're legendary the world over for
Yeah.
being enthusiastic and loyal.
Yeah. I once heard a great story about the Manics when one of them came out of his gate in Wales one day and he found a couple of Japanese fans at the bottom of his garden. And they found his address, come all the way from Japan just to say hello. Amazing. So how was the first gig on Sunday?
Yeah, look, we have Kula Shaker because we were with a corporation with a global international reach, and because we very quickly became a priority for that corporation.
Yeah.
We were promoted all over the world. So from Malaysia to Hong Kong to South America to North America, if we can if we can get to Brazil, we can play a gig there. If we can get to LA, we can do a gig, and so it's a privilege having had that opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's much harder to do when you're a independent label, because obviously you have to cover all the costs yourself. But the joy of being able to make the records you want to make and to have that control over the timing of it all, it's worth it. So this tour is, it's again, like I said, it's the continuing unfolding story of us being an independent band, and playing all this new Natural Magic sounds great alongside Tapper, and other tracks that we've written over the years. It all feels fresh together. The band is on fire.
It sounds like it, and I can hear like lots of the influences I could just pick out of the album straight away. And you've got tracks on there with a bit of Dylan, a bit of even the Monkees. I think is a thing I can hear in some of what you do. The Monkees, the Beatles, Dylan, George Harrison in his Indian phase. I think he would love you, and that's some good stuff on that. I noticed on Sunday you finished with "Groove Is in the Heart." Now that is an interesting cover. As a DJ, I love it. It's a banger, and but I'm looking forward to hearing your take on it.
I think, well, we're just always, keeping ourselves engaged. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Depends how you play it. You can lead that. You can lead it with the guitar, and the riff is pretty powerful. So yeah.
So
I was ready to not play it last night, but we have got the Swanee whistle. We've got the
yes,
and we've got the one that they used on the clangers. So
really,
when that came out, the crowd knew that there was something else on the set list, and I had to play it, and it was worth it.
So are you looking forward to the Camden gigs? Because the Electric Ballroom is a venue I've actually been to before. I lived in Camden for a bit, and that should be really, really, really good fun. I bet you've got some energy coming for that.
I've never played there.
Haven't you?
No, I've done a shoot there. I did a photo shoot there once, but never played there.
Did you know that the Pet Shop Boys are playing at the other end of the road same night at Coco?
Interesting. I've played Coco. Yeah. I think our audiences are probably
very different.
Very different. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, my favorite size venue is kind of between sort of 1,800 and 3,000. I think like that's actually the ideal. You get a lot of excitement from the crowd, but you don't lose that connection. You get the size, you don't lose the connection. I think when you get past 3,000, it starts to get harder, and it becomes more about the size rather than the direct connection with the band.
The Roundhouse, because that's probably fits in with that size.
That's 3.
Roundhouse.
Yeah. No, we decided to do 2 nights in London rather than one, at a bigger place, just to try and change it up a little bit. My cousin's just been to see Fish, the American band, at PHISH. He just went to see them at this new gig called The Sphere, which is sort of holographic bubble. But it's a trip to be in the room. But the band are like miles. I mean, the band are miles and miles away.
That isn't similar to what U2 have done, is it?
I doubt U2 could take the Sphere on tour. It looks like a big holographic, a lot of technology. I don't know whether you'd be able to travel with it. But the point, I don't talk about Fish or U2, but I do.
Yeah.
The point that the spectacle of these big gigs becomes about the event rather than the connection with the band. And the greatest gig I ever saw was The Who at Shepherd's Bush Empire. I managed to see a warm-up show, and it was so exciting to see a band who were a great, exciting live band making that noise from 50 yards away.
That must have been amazing, because you wouldn't expect to see them in somewhere as small as the Empire.
Yeah, it was good.
I have been in there. Great venue. Well, it's going to be fun on Friday. I'll be down for Friday. Do you still get your family come down to your gigs? Do you still get your mum doing a proud mum bit?
Yeah. I do. Yeah, if she's around. Yeah, everyone. London is usually, we got family in London. Got some family in Gateshead on my in-laws' side. Um, and Jay's got some family down here in Bexhill, actually, in Hastings. So, yeah, Alonso's got some family in Wales. And Paul's family tend to be West Country. So there's different pockets where
Yeah.
the different mums and brothers and uncles and cousins turn up.
Yeah. And it's such a positive album, and like you say, it's all about love and connection. And I think it's a good antidote for everything that's going on in the world at the moment. It's just so much bad stuff. I mean, we won't dwell on it, but it'd be great to go to a euphoric gig on Friday, and hopefully you can be that gig.
Everything that's happening around you is an opportunity to turn it into something positive. And sometimes you look at something awful and it wakes you up, not just to all the terrible things and the terrible people there are in the world, but also to the flip side of that, which is that not everybody is like that, and actually, there's a different way, and there's a different way of being, and that's always what we've been about from the very, very beginning. And I think to be fair, that our core audience who've supported us, they get it, and that's why they've stuck with us.
Yeah. And that's music has been my escape from everything. Music and culture, music in particular. If I don't go to a gig in any one week, I'm slipping. And this week it's usually Crispian.
Well, that's good.
So I better let you go now. We're sort of running over time, but are you still? Have you got any more rehearsals for Friday?
No, I'm at a gig now. I'm about to go and get the catering. We're going to set up.
Right. Well, I hope this all goes well, and I hope you're on top on Friday. And I'm sure we're going to have a great time on Friday. So looking forward to it. So it'll be 25 years since I last saw you, and you've got a great new album. I'm going to hear it.
I'll try, and we'll make sure we try not to disappoint.
I'm sure you won't. Have a great gig tonight, Crispian. I'll see you on Friday. Thank you so much for the interview.
Thanks, Nick. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Pop scoop.